One of the unique advantages that our research project had, being comprised of artists, is that through the door of art and aesthetics, we have a lot more freedom to explore ideas that are sort of minefields for scientists and theologians alike. There are some subjects, some issues that are central to understanding ancient Egypt that, ironically, are totally and completely beyond the pale. Beyond the threshold of sanity itself, in fact, according to Orthodox Egyptology, Orthodox history, and just about any Orthodox segment of academia. Approaching these contentious intellectual minefields from the wrong direction can result in serious consequences for the scientist or the theologian. But as artists, we're in a unique position to restore some of these topics to their central place of importance in understanding ancient Egypt, and in understanding ourselves in a new way. These admittedly unorthodox avenues of exploration and investigation play an important part in understanding the remarkable information contained in the ancient scientific esoteric transmissions. In the process of tracking down the symbolism and the various other mysteries I'd become aware of in the pylon, I started becoming aware that I was not the only one researching this strange subject. In tracking down this puzzle, I ran across the work of Brad Klausen and Gary Osborne. We started comparing notes and exchanging ideas, and very quickly in the process, something came to light. We'd each brought our individual pieces of the puzzle to the table, and at some point, the individual pieces of the puzzle sort of snapped together and formed this larger picture that none of us had expected. It was a discovery that changed the entire scope and relevance of the investigation. It was the discovery of a sort of a hidden language or a cipher encrypted into ancient art, ancient statuary, ancient architecture. What we discovered was that this hidden language encoded some very specific information about really what is the core cultural obsession of ancient Egypt. Once we discovered this hidden language, it became a sort of Rosetta Stone that allowed the temples to really start speaking. Once you understand how to read this hidden message, of course, you can't help but notice it. It was a visual encryption where once somebody points it out to you, it's impossible to miss. But until it's been pointed out to you, it is literally hiding in plain sight. As soon as we started reading the message, we began to understand why there's so much gatekeeping and trolling surrounding these subjects. The ancient message is in many ways the very definition of taboo. The project started out as an organized study of aesthetics, and a necessary part of understanding the aesthetics of the past is to understand the ideas and concepts and messages that the art was used to communicate. So, with the forewarning that some of the ideas that are communicated in the art are extremely contentious and were the product of a culture that had very different ideals and values at a very different time, and with the additional caveat that by acknowledging the ideas that are presented, we're not endorsing or advocating any particular set of ideas or beliefs. We're simply presenting them as a necessary part of appreciating the complexity and beauty of the ancient technologies for visual communication.